This is an important one. And I say this even prior to our interview. Reflect on your skills and experience, how they match up to the criteria for the position. You know the position you're interviewing for, and start thinking, well, I've had this experience with this, and I've had this knowledge with this. And sometimes those are educationally related experiences, be it your student teaching, block, intern, all that stuff. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the day camp work that you did, or in the fraternal sorority organization leadership roles that you were in, or undergraduate student government roles or athletic roles that you were in. All that stuff comes into play in that interview, okay? So understand, be able to start thinking of some of those experiences that you've had that were those aha moments in your life that you realized, one, that you were good at this, that you had some skills, and that you could lead and manage things like that and work with people. And it just doesn't have to be in an educational setting. Those are valuable and good things, but we know, especially experience. You're going to get that with experience, so you got to pull from those other experiences that you've had outside the educational domain to relate to those questions, and that's perfectly fine. We like to hear that too. And again, that gives us a good picture about you. Okay? Think of hypothetical questions in anticipation of what the interviewer might ask. Then develop your answers. I wish I could sit and give you any, the interview questions out there, but there are so many, and they come from so many different angles, and every school district does it a different way. What's the latest book you've read? Why did you like it? I've heard that before, and I think to myself, I don't know why I'd ask it, but I'm sure that for that district that has some merit. There might be, some question about, you'll definitely be able to read and reflect your philosophy of education. They might not ask you to repeat that verbatim, but I bet you through some of those questions you're going to respond to, you're going to pull back from that, okay, and pull back and say, okay, this is really my beliefs. This is what I believe. And this is what I value. And you're going to, some of those components of those beliefs and values are going to come out in your responses. Truly, they will, and as they should, But those are the things I would tell you start looking at. The questions, definitely they're going to ask you, well, describe your educational background. They're going to ask you that. So, go through your resume and put that through your mind and how you can verbalize that. Here's one of those tips you can star on the side. Don't give a 30-minute thesis about your educational background experience, okay? Don't do that. Sum that up. We have your resume. We have your credentials. We know some of those things. We want to hear you just verbalize maybe that in a different realm. Keep that, maybe 5 minutes or so, even less than that, 5 or less minutes to sum those things up. We're going to ask you those other things if you miss something, but don't start back in when I was in elementary school. I was this, and then I went to junior high, and then at high school I did this, and then I went to college. No, you don't want to. We don't want a whole full blown out story of that. Just keep it simple when it comes to that, but yet professional. We want to see that you can verbalize those things, that you can summarize a large amount of information, and project that to us in an appropriate manner, which we get the picture. Okay, don't go on a diatribe. Do not ramble on, and that'll be a theme I'll talk about at the end too. To any question, okay, because you lose folks when you do that in the interview process. You truly do. If you have someone that can conduct a mock interview with you, go for it. Student teachers. You're all student teaching right now, right? Ask your building principals that you're in if they have some time, or assistant principal if they can run you through a mock interview situation. At the job fairs, again, like I said earlier, if someone's, a table's there screening, going to run through screener questions, go do it. Again, experience is great. And some districts may be able to do that, depending how big they are, where you're a student teacher right now as far as doing mock interviews. Some may not. We try to do that as most we can, our building principals. But so doesn't hurt to ask. So don't be afraid to ask the question to the building or the building in which you're student teaching right now. More than likely, someone will jump up. Especially if you're doing a good job, they're going to want to interview you anyway. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's a great tool for us. I'll talk about that at the end. But ask for a mock interview. Ask for a practice interview. Ask for an interview. Again, how do you know if you don't ask? Maybe that. How many of you are from the suburbs? See, when you're student teaching and you're around this area, they may think that you don't want to teach here. They may think you want to go back up to the suburbs. And that's great if you do. 6 of one, half does the other there. That's great if you do. But still ask for the interview. That maybe they're not asking you for the interview because they think you're going to go back home or where your home area is. Ask for the interview. And the reason why I ask that, some of our interviews are the same. And I can attest to that. We use the same interview system at Mattoon that Plainfield uses, for example. It's the same interview system that we utilize. And that there's a couple other school districts up there that use the same interview system that we utilize. So again, it's experience. Questions may be a little bit different, but it's the same interview process. So don't be afraid to ask that. During the interview now, we're going into this part. Any questions about psyching yourself up for the interview? Okay, make sense? Okay. During the interview, again, be punctual. Lateness is virtually inexcusable. You don't want to show up too late in an interview. And if you're running into a situation, especially folks if you're going up north to interview, and this is going to happen, traffic, 355, 290, 294, you're going to hit it. Okay? Either you go really early to get there, or stay the night in that area before, or if you do run into an accident, before you leave for the interview, folks, take the number of that secretary, comes back to that person again, doesn't it, that you made an appointment with, have your cell phone, make that call, I am stuck in traffic. Those folks will understand. They live that up there. But again, at least you're being proactive and you're calling it, I'm stuck in traffic, I can't, and they'll know, because probably half their staff or some of their students are late in traffic too. But those things could happen too, and if you don't call, that says something about you too, but if you do call, they'll understand that, and they'll work with you on that. I know we would. I can't say for everything, but I know up there, and some of you are going to interview up there, now down here, you're not going to pay to go on the tollway or anything like that. So again, that's just planning that you get there early enough and you're there in time. These are some common sense things, but you would be surprised. All right? You would be surprised. Be clean and well-groomed. Folks, don't show up in an interview and you're not well-groomed. You're not, again, dressed professionally. This is important. They talk about shoes being shined and socks and all that stuff should match. And again, dressing professionally. And that could be a lot of different things, all right? But it's not coming in with a sweatsuit on. I would tell you, if you're a male, wear a tie. If you don't respect the profession and the opportunity to interview, even if you're interviewing for what you think a position may not call for a tie, whatever that may be, and there's some positions, if you're, let's say, a PE teacher, you shouldn't come to work dressed in a tie every day. And there's different things, but or an ag teacher, you're not going to be out working with kids and doing test plots out in the field with a suit or a tie on. But if you're coming in dressed professionally, wear a tie if you're a male. If you're a female, a dress suit is appropriate. Do not come in with sweat tops. I would tell you, don't come in and just wear a sweater and jeans or casual. No. That's not... There's a real problem in the profession, and you guys probably sensed or heard some of this out in student teaching, and we have to do a better job of governing ourselves to dress professionally and differentiate ourselves from how we dress and how our students dress. And that's a problem out there in education. Truly, it is. So those people that are going to interview are going to be looking for that. And again, give yourselves time to do that. Go buy a nice suit. Go buy and it doesn't have to be anything exorbitant and things of that nature, but something that's going to represent you professionally. That's what people want to see. We take a lot of heat in our profession because they say, when teachers, as an educator, say we need to get paid more, we need this, and then people look, well, you wear jeans every day, or you do this or that every day. Never mind that we're on the ground building a model rocket that we're going to shoot off in the sky or something like that, or doing some kind of physics experiment with acceleration and velocity. Never mind that. But again, that's just how the public perceives it. So if we want to be perceived as professionals, even though we know we are, and we're accountable, more accountable than some other organizations and professions are held to, again, you have to demonstrate that. And that's through all your nonverbals, folks. It's not, I'll often say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.